Hi, Matthew. This is your toe reading for spring 2025. I thank you so much for ordering a full toe reading. They're very interesting reading to receive and to give. So our toes tell our story of our journey, and they tell of the past, they tell of the future, they tell of the dogs. And so our feet represent ourself here on earth, and then ourselves in the spirit world, and our connection to our spirit world and our connection here on earth. Gem, enough. Cool it. So as we have labeled, each toe represents a different part of our being. So we have abundance, and there are abundance and trust. They represent our pinky toes. Abundance is on, you'll see flip. Abundance is about how we feel in our security here on earth. And so your abundance toe, number one, shows a little scar. I think we had discussed that scar comes from your past. So interestingly enough, this toe, your pinky toe, your abundance toe, is slightly looking towards the past. So maybe sometimes when something goes not quite your way financially, you're quick to think, yeah, that's because of that. That affected me that way. So in looking in that toe, you could grab that toe and start maneuvering it, start twisting it, start getting a little bit of flexibility into that toe, so that clearly you're not going to change a long-standing scar, but you can change the feeling of how this toe is representing in your life. So that's about your abundance toe in yourself. So your pinky toe on your spirit side is called trust, represents trust. And you'll notice that yours completely is turned, has a little bit of a darkness. If we look really up close, let's see. I'm not sure if it is damage to this toe, and so that's a black spot from being hit, or if it's something that we can just kind of rub off and rub away. But again, same thing. This toe is just looking towards the past. It's looking away from your true destiny. And so same thing, try to maneuver this toe just a little bit. Get it to move just a little. I find that your spirit toe, so this means that your trust, you kind of lost your trust in the past. And you're not so sure that you've gotten it back yet. And I find that very interesting with this 99 or the 66, as we had seen it down here. The 99 is about completion. The number 9 is about completion, on the edge of completion. And so maybe you're feeling like you're not quite being given what you think that you deserve, if that's fair enough. But know that it's coming. So relationship and trust, working these two together, and it's on the spirit side, makes me say, are you trusting in your relationship with your higher power? Are you truly trusting? Are you, are you, how do I want to say? Is your trust overpowering your action? Your trust in relationship overpowering your action to your destiny? So let's uncover that a little bit more. But there's your trust and abundance, your earth toes. That's what we've got here. Your earth toes. So your connection here on earth to spirit and to yourself. Let's move on to relationship toes. So relationship toe, I want to point out this little mole, which is part of 3 moles right here, that fit your relationship, your action, and your destiny. These marks are usually indications, I know they're moles, but oftentimes they're indications of angel blessings that have occurred due to hardships in your life. So it looks like maybe 3 times you've overcome some hardship, some deep hardship, deep within who you are, which is at the talus of your foot here. We don't really read the talus of the foot, but having these 3 markings, I really wanted to point that out. You can see a mound. It's like a mound here. So you've got your guide sitting at the base of your mound, protecting you all around here on earth as you walk your journey. Okay, so we hit those little guys. Relationship toes. Relationship toes are your relationship with yourself, on yourself here on earth. Everything seems to be pretty normal. Now, I'm not sure what they look like 30 years ago, or 15 years ago. This tiny little turn, you can see a tiny little turn. That's looking towards the past, but I mean, they go together just like these two, but not quite as strong. It's like you're super strong. You are super strong in yourself. That's what your toes tell me, that you're super strong in yourself. You take on this width tells me that you take on a lot, and that it's not really a burden to you. And so your relationship with yourself, you're good with you. Your relationship with spirit, again, it looks like, I don't know, I almost feel like your trust and your trust in your relationship with spirit is almost tarnished. Okay, so it's like you don't want to acknowledge that it's tarnished, but your toes show it to me. It makes me feel like, what are you hiding about your trust in spirit? Someone let you down. So let's that's where we're at there. Let's move on to action toes, because your action toes, your action for yourself, strong, straight. Your action with spirit, strong, straight, except you're part of this red line here. So somewhere, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe 15, somewhere in your mid to late teens, your early adulthood, um, somebody pissed you off. And so that's showing. It shows in your toes. I find it interesting that these two marks you said are current and that they show up. So it makes me wonder if that same situation that hit you years ago, half of your life ago, has shown up recently. And if so, it's undercovered. So uncovered. So feel free to address it if you are ready. So we're back to action toes. Straightforward. It's like you know who you are. You know who you are. You know how to get there. Let's move this a minute. Interesting thing about the action toes on yourself. It's pointed. This toe is very pointed. You'll be able to see it here. Look down at your own toe and you can see this point. This point stood out to me because it was like, just told me that your actions, you're straight and to the point, get shit done. I ain't got time to fuck around. Which I don't know why I just said that, because everything else kind of about you is just like, oh, all right. But deep down, you're like, dude, let's get going. I ain't got time to fuck around. And it's interesting that this self action toe is slightly longer in comparison to your communication toe than it is over here on spirit. So you definitely talk more about like real life stuff, that everyone else really, like down to earth stuff. You talk about this stuff way more than you talk about this stuff over here in spirit. About like what you're doing and what you want to do and how you want to go about doing it, this just really, really stood out to me, how you're like, just get shit done. So you'll have to let me know if that's the truth about you, because that's what I really see there. Let's move into your communication toes. So both communication toes are curving, very much so. And they're curving towards the past. And it's like they press over, push onto your action toes. So it makes me feel like in many times, you talk, as much as it's like, let's get shit done, you talk more than you act. Maybe it's more fair to say you know a lot. So that's why the talk, you talk about the past, you talk about what you've done. So along with that said is these big black spots. They're some of the first things that stood out to me. And we come over here, let's show you what I'm talking about. So black spots, and they're like dark. It's like darkness. To me, it's what it feels like. And so your action and your communication, there's a lot of shadow going on in there, and shadow self. So a lot of times what you speak rolls over into what you do rather than vice versa. So you speak it first and then do it. But let's get it done. So to me, that means that you're a planner. Okay, so back over to these communication toes, to these black spots. So between action, we talked about that one. Let's come over here to the curve. The curve below the darkness is just I'm going to just say my feeling of it is that you turn a subject away. When a subject comes up and you don't want to talk about it, you're very finessed at turning it away, turning the conversation away from what you don't want to talk about. And so that's what I get between those. That's what I get with that. Let's zoom you back out a second. No, let's go back here. So without the lines, you can really see the curves. You can really see what I'm seeing. And so this one in spirit, on the spirit side, your talk sometimes will stop your action. So on this side, it's like turn the tables, do more than speak. So apply your knowledge of spirit that you have already. Apply it. Turn this, give this a little push. Give it just a little push over there. Your fullness, let's go over to our destiny toe. I love this. Your destiny toes have these beautiful bulbs, this fullness of life, this just strong stability. They're like great big thumbs that just plant you right here on earth. And the thickness in the toe itself into the base of the foot, it's just stability. You were born with stability. You were born with a deep grounding into earth. I hope you feel it because it's very much there. So I'm going to, let's move you back out here a second. Oops. Nope, we don't want you. There we go. Okay, so let's get into toenails here. Our toenails talk about our current situation, like what's going on right now. And your toenails tell me the story. Are we going? Yep, good. Your toenails tell me the story that this toe got, I don't know, maybe you hit your toe or something caused you to have to clip that nail really close. And so, I don't know, I kind of see that right here maybe. And so that prompted you to clip all the rest of these really close maybe, which they're really close. To me, it shows me, like, I wrote this down, like some perfectionism. But this long toenail right here that you did not cut on your spirit side just makes me smile. Like it's an upside down smile. But you know, turn it around, turn it, and it's right side up when I'm looking at you. Um, so I don't know if this was on purpose or if you forgot to clip this toenail, but I love that it's kind of like on its own little standalone, pressing out over everything, just being like, here I am. I'm here. In this picture though, you can see the next thing I want to talk about. You've got massive fullness, but over here on your, which is beautiful. Like I said, this shows your fullness for life. But again, right here, hitting on this spot, there's redness, more redness than there is over here. And so either this is your shoe that's pressing upon this, or you're overstepping your shoe, overstepping, pressing ahead. There's something about this section in the Destiny where it's like missing. There's just, if you when you look at it together, you can see how full this is. And then over here, something just happened recently. And there's just a little something that's like, yeah, I don't know, missing right now. Just know that, you know, as this one grows out and this one grows out, you trim this off, they'll start equaling back out. So your toes, things that I wrote down about your toes really show me like that you're somebody who's just like, I am doing my best. It is what I do and it is who I am, and I'm just doing my best. Your toes show me in your toenails themselves. Let's see if we can. The graininess I apologize for. But if you look down at your own, you know, at your live toenails, you're going to notice that the skin, any kind of like callousness or overgrowth or whatever, is all on your nail. There is not, from what I can see in these pictures, there's really no overgrowth of skin around the outsides of your nails, which is what made me say, send you the message about not being judgmental. You're not judgmental. And you said that's true, you're not. If you were judgmental, I'd be seeing a lot of scaliness around the skin of the toenail, calluses and things like that. You don't have any of that. All of your scaliness or anything like that is all on your own toenail. And so that's just all current situation stuff. It's all you. You're critical of yourself. You're not critical of others. You have nothing to be critical of yourself about. So stop that. Your toes show me that you're an action guy. You have the single pointed focus. You're usually ahead of the game. You push ahead, you know, thus this right here, maybe, you know. And then what else? Oh, I got this like vibe. It was like, I don't know, you're not going to touch me, or you're not going to keep me down. Like, that's like an energy that you carry, you know, like, girl, you can't touch me, you know, or your shit ain't going to keep me down. You know, it just kind of gets like that vibe that that's kind of how you are, who you are. And then it also communication, your communication, this curve, this shows me that you are flexible in your communication. very flexible in your communication. And if you reach down to these toes, this toe, it's probably very flexible. You can probably move it all around, both ways. Um, and what I wrote about it is that your past actions have taught you how to be flexible in communication. So how to, I guess, learn to ask for what you want, how to learn to, I don't know, act appropriately, speak appropriately. But that's what I got, was that your past actions taught you how to communicate and that you're very flexible. Okay, so let's show you some other stuff. We have the elements. So I guess that's a wrap on like what I'm seeing. Okay. Next we're going to go into the elements. So, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and what they correlate to. And I have some questions, and I'm going to take them from the book. Let's see. We got the book here. Toe Reading by Casey Miller. Are you walking your destined path? So my toe reader teacher suggested that we purchase this book. And I'm glad that she did, because it's extremely helpful. And it has a really neat, it just has some neat things in it, some neat questions. There's also a whole glossary of like what the different things mean that are listed, like what shows up on your feet. So it is a really fun book if you want to ever delve a little bit deeper into toe reading. Okay, so here's a little fun exercise that can align you to your ether toe. Your ether toe is this big toe right here. Okay. So one of the best exercises to align the ether toe, also known as the great toe, with your greatest dreams is to stand up straight, take a deep breath, and point your ether toe in the direction of the horizon. With your eyes firmly focused forward, ask yourself, am I ready to step into my power and claim my rightful destiny here on earth? Listen to the answer deep within your soul and begin to walk forward on the soles of your feet. Keep breathing deeply and listening. After a few steps, take inventory of your breathing and of your posture. Chances are you'll be breathing very confidently, and your posture will have become more proud and focused. When you look down, your great ether toe will be straight, or even more strong and straight. When you claim your destiny, even in your mind, for just a moment, your body and your toes react. Another great way to practice standing up for yourself and what you think is to walk around the house with toe spacers on, emphasizing your own individuality. Toe spacers will give your soul's energy room to think, express, dream, and create. Toe spacers. That's, whatever. Let's get that back up. Okay, so questions to ask your ether toe, your destiny toe, your big toes, your grand toes, your great toes. Have you fully stepped into your power and claimed your place on earth? Look at your great toe, the right side. This one. Yourself. Have you fully stepped into your power and claimed your place on earth? How have you settled for less in the past? What's your head telling you about your life's purpose? What's your heart telling you about your life's purpose? Has there been a time that you were pushed in a direction against your inner knowing? How has, if at all, your family, church, or job ever pushed you into compromising situations, forcing you to settle for less? Are you a people pleaser? or a path walker? If you've been off path, are you ready to claim your destiny now? What could you contribute to the world if you were not afraid to walk your destined path? What is holding you back from being big and amazing in the world? Even bigger and amazing in the world. If not today, when will you go for it? I think you've started going for it. I think you're there. I think you're on the path. So let's move into our air toes, our communication toes. For you, the curve, that flexibility. Do you speak your truth easily? What, if anything, do you hold back from saying? Was there a time you held your words back until it hurt? What would you choose to say about that now? Do you usually say what you think others want you to hear? Do you usually say what you think others want to hear? If you were not afraid, what would you say, and to whom? What is your greatest unexpressed joy or sadness? Would you be willing to take a deep breath and begin speaking your heart's truth? When was the last time you told someone you love them? When would you be open to following your intuition and listening to the messages from above? Deep questions. We're going to go to your fire toe. That's your action. How do you show up in the world? How would you choose to show up? What, if anything, holds you back from creating more in the world? How structured, focused, or flexible are you based on looking at your right fire toe? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much unexpressed potential do you estimate you have pent up in you? Spirit side, I would say that that's a relevant question. On your earth side, who you are, what you present to the world, you're straightforward. You've gotten it out. You've gotten past stuff out. There's some current stuff, like we said. How often do you put off what needs to be done? Do your words say one thing and your actions another? This is a perfect time to contrast the air toe with the fire toe. So, air toe, fire toe. That's that little push. Do your words say one thing and your actions another? Are you action-oriented, a real doer? You are. Are you bossy and pointed with your action and expression? Are you bossy and pointed with your action and expression? That's that. Do your life choices depend on what's going on in your relationships? Look at the relationship between the